Turn to now, the suspect in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students set to be extradited to Idaho tomorrow.
And we're also learning about who the suspect is and how he managed to elude police for weeks.
Lucas Tomlinson is live in Washington with the very latest. Good morning to you, Lucas.
Good morning, Steve, Nicole, and Griff. Investigators have still not given a motive for this attack, but there are reports the alleged killer had a habit of stalking young girls in bars. Now, electronic fingerprints are hard to conceal. Mobile phones constantly sending and receiving signals, which also include location, and officials say that data has been discovered pinpointing the killer's location to areas near the victims in the weeks leading up to that fatal attack almost 2 months ago. Quadruple murder suspect 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger was pursuing a PhD in criminology at Washington State University in Pullman, just a few miles from the apartment where those grisly murders took place. Kohberger's neighbor told the New York Post, quote, "It seems like he never slept because he was always doing something all night. I don't know how he could have killed people because he didn't look that tough. We are all PhD students here, so it takes a lot of hard work and smarts to get to this point." There are also reports Kohberger is a recovering heroin addict. The Kohberger family defending their son in a statement following his arrest early Friday, quote, "We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions." Days after the murders, Kohberger drove over 2,000 miles from Idaho to Pennsylvania in order to allegedly hide out at his parents' home in the Poconos. A murder weapon has still not been recovered, guys. And Nicole, if I could offer a word perhaps for this week, peruse. It means to read carefully, actually.
Ooh, that's a good one. I do like that one.
I like it.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
The Daily Mail has got a story this morning that apparently, the father flew out from their home in Pennsylvania, flew to Washington State, and then drove with his son 2,000 miles to bring the white Hyundai Elantra back home over the holiday week. And what's interesting is apparently, according to the Daily Mail, on December 16th, they stopped at a Pennsylvania car shop. Apparently there was some sort of maintenance issue, and it was the white Elantra. And, there's no suggestion the father knew, but apparently they made the trip back to Pennsylvania together.
That's interesting. I wonder what the conversation was. But it seems that he has waived his right to the extradition hearing, so he may be going back sooner, and that might help expedite and give us some more answers. But I will say that one thing that I wonder about when I hear about a young man in his early 20s, up all night, vacuuming, it's a very common age where you see mental illness develop, especially schizophrenia. So I'll be interested to hear more about his behaviors leading up. Thankfully, later on in the show, we have Dr. Michael Baden, forensic pathologist, is going to explain how genealogical DNA was actually used to help catch the suspect. That's going to be coming up today at 7:30 a.m.
That's right.
Yeah, let's not forget, there's so many questions. Not only how they caught him, but to your point, Nicole, what was the motive? We still really don't know why.
Well, they said that won't be released until he's actually seen in court, correct?
Well, you think about what you said. He wants to come back. He's going to waive extradition so that he can prove that he was innocent. And this goes to the earlier stories about how on Reddit he was asking people about the perfect crime and stuff like that. Reportedly, after the murders, he was wearing gloves to the grocery store. He was trying not to have any fingerprints and stuff like that. Dr. Baden's going to be talking a little bit about how that DNA was used. There was DNA collected at the site of the murders that night, a couple of months ago. And then apparently it was compared to DNA through family members. Family members may have submitted to, one of those online genealogical things to see their heritage. And so it was publicly available. So they didn't say, hey, would you submit to a swab? They already had his family's DNA.
Well, interestingly, though, he was wearing gloves everywhere. Was that to not leave fingerprints, or was it because of some sort of paranoia or even COVID paranoia? We see people wearing gloves. So a lot of questions, not very many answers right now. We'll find out later today.